Team ban.
Game time here in European DPC Upper Division. We got ourselves Team Liquid taking on Tundra Esports, and we are ready for the draft of the first game. Still here with Kyle and Tigov, of course, and now also joined by none other than a Purge on the big screen. Purge, initial thoughts on this matchup?
I think it's going to be a really good series for sure. Team Liquid has been playing a lot cleaner. They've got 5 wins and 2 losses with their 2-1 record. And on the Tundra side, 1-2 win rate with 4 games won, 4 games lost. So I expect that Liquid is going to have their strats like really hammered out and be ready to go here. But I think Tundra is also a really solid team and definitely one of the teams that is itching to try to break into the top 4.
Yeah, and they had a 6 days to prepare for this matchup, so should come in fully aware of what Liquid has been playing, as we see them banning out the Lone Druid and the IO to start with, and on the other side, it is Liquid that bans out Void Spirit and Bat Rider.
Question for me, will Tundra pick Nyx or Kotl? Will they go Nyx and then Liquid goes Kotl? Oh, they just take the Kotl themselves. Therefore, will Liquid go Nyx?
You cannot give Insania Kotl. That is like...
Yep. Because before, Liquid has shown that they prefer the Kotl over the Nyx. So in my opinion, I was like, okay, Tundra, you got to either...
I don't think Nyx either, though.
No, exactly. I don't think Liquid's the team to instant react, but they still can. There's no way you can knock it, but maybe they have something up their sleeve. Or they just go for a Nyx. Either option is perfectly fine.
Tusk.
Like it. I saw Taiga playing this in his pubs quite a bit. He's going for rank 1. And the fact that he's winning games with Tusk is a testament to his skills, because this hero is basically all about the team you're playing with. Very limited damage. It's just setting up for the squad. I think Snowball is one of the most volatile spells in Dota. It can straight up win a team fight, or it could do absolutely goddamn nothing.
5 seconds remaining.
It can grief the team as well.
That's true. They've been preferring Tusk in their opener anyways the last couple series. Generally, or maybe not always, but it's definitely a hero that they've been picking often. The only team that picks it really.
Yep. I could see them just rocking a Tusk Beast, or more likely a Tusk Lycan. I do like that Tundra took out Lone Druid. I think you've got to do that against this team. It's just too frustrating to leave in the pool. Nobody seems to have a really good answer for Lone Druid. Nobody plays it but Liquid.
Yeah, the thing as well is with that type of ban, it's even if it's not first phase, like Liquid doesn't always rush to pick it. In the second phase, you have to think about it, and you sometimes forget it exists, or you then waste a ban because you're scared of a Lone Druid when you don't need to be. So it's kind of like we don't really know what we want to ban, so let's just ban the Lone Druid and get ourselves through the next phase.
Yeah. I've always been a proponent that first phase bans are heroes you just don't want in the game. You don't want to play them, and you definitely don't want your enemy to. So Lone Druid just makes the most sense. I think pretty much every team should do so. Love the Shaker. Hero is still underpicked. The Shard is busted. I think we'll see it overall first pick more often as we continue in this tournament.
He is a top lad. He secures the offlane quite easily. We've probably heard it 1,000 times with the fissuring to keep the lane back in front of the tower. But I think
that's big. It opens the pool of offlaners.
It does. You can pretty much pick whatever you want to play offlane in the scenario of, okay, we have the Shaker. But I think for Tundra, it's mainly they needed a hero that can mirror the rotations of a Tusk. Nerf Shaker, when he sets up his offlane with the double fissure, he can quite easily move to mid, have that fissure disconnect to ensure the tag team can't really, pay great effect onto that mid lane.
The other thing I really like about Earthshaker is the 4. You guys sort of cover this by saying it gives you any offlane. It basically makes like those squishier 3 int heroes so much better, because if they ever get ran at, Earthshaker shuts that down instantly. So I think it opens up their draft potential for still retaining lane strength, but also getting the upper hand of being able to like crush the enemy carry with like a weird 3-position hero.
I would also state this Tusk could be Boxy's hero. Just saying, it's possible.
Suppose
could be,
I guess. Not very convincing, but why not? Why not? We have seen Insania play Rubik as well, though.
Yep.
Where indeed Taiga was playing Tusk, so the same support combo they played in the third game when they played against Team Nigma, and that was a game that they almost won.
10 seconds.
I don't know if that's enough, but they almost won. It looked somewhat promising, and then it didn't. The ban out the Troll here. We have a Ricky banned out as well. Looks like both teams will try to focus on the on the carry players. Mickey and Skeeter being targeted here.
But from these openings alone, you can see how Liquid, they kind of want to be more go-getters within this game. They'll play out a strong laning phase and try and collapse on the map. Whilst Tundra, they're going to be slightly more willing to allow them to be ran at. You know, Shaker will be in the right position. Coddle can kind of play that safe lane when the carry goes to the jungle and try and keep the game going, so they might have this greedier lineup potentially. But that's only from the supports we're seeing so far from both.
Yeah, and if you play against, well, rather, Liquid's Coddle is arguably strongest in the world right now. I think looking at their bans, people should be taking note. They're getting rid of the Ember and the Troll specifically. I wouldn't be surprised if Bristle disappears next, but I think it's noted that they actually respect Coddle Ember more than Coddle Bristle.
Well, it's also Tusk can't really play Dota into
But not much more.
any of these three heroes, right? Like,
Yeah.
You can't physical damage into Troll. You can't really stay on an Ember, so an instant slaughter. Okay.
That is a cool pick, simply because it's more physical damage stacking. You have the tag team now, that's physical damage amp, plus the Slardar. It sets them up for 2 cores to win the game.
How do you contest like the 14-15 minute Roshan on Liquid? Like Tundra, and I only mean, of course, there's 3 more picks, but these supports at 15 minutes, they're still trying to farm their extra little something. Like Coddle wants a glimmer, or Earthshaker wants to sit in the empty lane to farm up his dagger. Like, I can see Liquid really utilizing this early window of the game to get that first Aegis, build up map control, and go.
I feel like one thing that Liquid does that's a little different than some of the other teams is they draft very specifically towards having the ability to like dumpster lanes if things start going well. And like one thing Boxy does, for example, he starts with a bracer first, just skips Quelling Blade entirely because he just wants the extra damage and the extra little bit of regen just so he can fight the enemy carry. So even though they don't know what the carry matchup is, the fact that Slardar combos with the other heroes just makes them like relatively safe here to pick while covering those Roche advantages and things like that. So they're ready to fight with the Tusk. It kind of like combos with it and shows their justification of it picking early here.
Yeah, they just need they need massive damage from their last couple of picks. You need something that spread damage is, I guess, the best way. You don't want any more single target.
Ooh.
I actually don't like that pick at all into Slardar. I've always seen Slardar as like the Ursa counter. Yeah, you can purge his ultimate off once, but it just gets reapplied. And in the laning phase, it's one of the worst melee heroes to go up against because of the constant bash and stun spam.
But is his shard also not when you crush, you get everybody that you crush, you get it, you give
Yes.
For 5,
Rose
yeah.
Haze.
For Slardar, yeah, correct.
For Slardar, yeah. So that is even better because you got multiple ways. Like eventually you got multiple ways to put the Corrosive Haze on him.
But it's more about the laning stage, I think, is why they picked it here. Because they're worried about the matchup against Slardar, so they want to have a carry that can fight back potentially.
Yeah, I think as well with the Ursa pick, you have to look at, I mentioned already, the Roshan potential on Liquid.
Yeah.
And I think Tundra could have easily just moved in a direction of no Roshan contest.
What did I just say?
Kyle did just mute himself and say, DP, don't worry, buddy, I'll back you up. But
I did hear that
it's
too.
perfect. Like you want a Yule's hero. I know from the man, the best Ursa player in the world, BSJ. Ursa hates playing against Yule's. It's a massive amount of damage. It's spread damage. And it also gives you, it kind of forces BKBs because you hate playing against these drains in the silence without the option of BKB. And it scales with the Slardar. And it gives you Roche. And it's tower pressure. And it could be in mid, in safe lane. Who knows?
yeah, that's sure one benefit of Liquid's lineup. Sure, you can see obviously Boxy Slardar, DP could be mid or safe lane, but there is that kind of openness to it. So if Tundra right now, they need to identify the fact that Liquid, they can quite easily take an objective. They can easily play a strong lane and go Roshan. They need to cover themselves that with some more early pressure on the map. So they go for a Beastmaster, which it allows them to kind of play that kind of pressure on the map where if Slardar's pressuring Ursa, Beastmaster's pressuring that tower. And that should at least get the game to like a 50-50 state. So that if Roshan is a big contest, they can maybe fight into it with like a book free. But Liquid's lineup is very scary, very skirmishing heroes, and they will be ruthless and able to punish the kind of slow nature of Tundra so far. It's beast to be the world right now.
You got to be careful. You got to get rid of Morphling now if you're Tundra, because if you give Mickey some hyper carry, this becomes a very difficult game. PL is also a solid ban. I think PA is a possibility, but it's a bit single target. I think Gyrocopter could be decent.
When you're saying that it's Beastmaster versus the world, surely if your team Tundra, for me, their star player would be 33, and him on Beastmaster. For me, if I'm a big fan of Tundra, I'd be happy seeing that Beastmaster picked up. I think
Yeah, I'm
That,
not.
that could definitely be 33 versus the world, and he
Yeah,
can
it
be
can.
that role. He can be that person.
It's simply because of like, the wave clear, right? When you see what Liquid has, they're looking to fight you, break down your kind of what you have, and then push into that objective after. So Beastmaster, if he starts setting the pace, suddenly they're reacting to this book 3. It opens up the map for sure. Yeah, I think it is going to be a good Beast game for that idea. And going back to what Kyle was saying about this last pick carry from Liquid, you need to remove these, I say illusion heroes as well, clearly. They're just going to dumpster the game for sure. But it's so scary because there's 2 bans and there's like 8 options pretty much in this carry role. So Tundra have to cover themselves for sure.
Yeah, they ban the PA, nice. It seems counterintuitive, like PL against Shaker, but it's more that you get to a point, especially with this new hood build, that you just don't die. And Tundra's cores don't deal with PL at all. And meanwhile, it's the sort of chaos creator that allows these 3, 4, 5 heroes for Liquid to thrive. They just constantly spam stuns and rotate out of the engagement. What?
This could be some like Grimstroke mid game from Tundra. I know that Nine's played it a couple times. Just a little bit more wave clear, a bit more early fight. And if they ever overcommit, suddenly that Soulbind comes in and then you have the double roar. Just kind of the fact that you locked them down.
Why not just a cute little quap or puck? Keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm surprised Puck made it all the way without being banned. We've seen that hero be very, very highly picked.
Ooh, also big SF fan. It's a little rough against Rubik Tusk.
Who is surprised by these hands? Who is surprised by Kyle's
Can we get an SF count from Kyle, please? Like,
I
on
think we
stream?
should make it into a soundbite so he doesn't have to say the full sentence anymore and he just can press a button.
We're kind of, I think we're
Shadow
on 3
Fiend.
today, yeah. It's like first pick of the draft. What hero do you think is good, Cup? Shadow Fiend.
No, Death Prophet is the real #1, but that's already been picked. But when you see a Death Prophet, you think, okay, SF could be good.
Regards to comments about a Quap for mid, I think Quap VDP used to be a very big counter, but nowadays, just buy some more regen. You got 80 fit. It's like
it's because the Death Prophet Q is so much better. Like that matchup just straight up shifted.
they banned the puck. So now Tundra needs to.
Love Liquid.
They need an active hero to play with the Beastmaster. So when he gets a timing, you suddenly have like the Beast +1. Kotal can sit in the lane pushing out. Earthshaker can kind of sit around kind of the engagement, and Ursa can quickly farm up what's needed.
10 seconds.
What is left? The spirits, of course, come to mind.
Void Spirit ban in the first phase, so he's all out.
Ember's out as well. You don't really want to storm into a Tusk DP. I think for the Grimms.
Oh, we're on fire.
Well done.
This
Right,
is
do
where, okay, I think you go Mika hero. I think you just Morphling. I think that they're looking at this game. They think if we go Morph, we're going to win. It gives us a Coddle and Shaker just blaster. Your DP is going to be fine middle.
I low-key rate the Jara as well. You mentioned
Yeah,
it
Jara's
earlier,
up.
but there's a new build with like just a flak where you kind of forgo all your damage spells and you just spam flak non-stop and they just don't
I
get
just
the play.
don't like it too much against like the Ursa Beast. I think you get Zerg down.
They go for the Morphling. Fair play.
Nice.
It gives you the win condition.
Yeah, for
like,
sure, yeah.
You win this game if it goes after. If it's even at 30 minutes, Liquid need a fight and they win the game.
And I think the scary thing as well is we spoke so much about Roshan. Now imagine when that 12-30 minute Roshan comes into play, Morphling gets it. The only way he dies is to a roar or a slam. It's like you either have the spell or you don't. And an Aegis kind of completely mitigates that threat. So I like what Liquid has for sure.
All right, Purge, what do you reckon for the first game?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. I think the fact that they got their comfort heroes on their supports, Tusk is being able to facilitate kills, and the Morphling matches up well against a lot of the heroes on the enemy team. So I like Liquid's draft too.
All right, thank you very much. We'll come back to you after the first game. Kyle, final words before we see this played out.
Tundra needs lanes to go well. They're still in this by all means, but they need tempo, and they can't allow Liquid to just play a chill game. They'll lose towers every exorcism. They need to make sure that Ursa gets Battle Fury and comes online first.
I just want to see all of Tundra's heroes be happy and willing to collapse on the map together. Like if Beast has a game, I want to see all of Tundra pushing their force into Liquid and just try and punish them at certain stages, contest that first Roshan, and get themselves into at least that middle game even.
Well, it seems like Tundra have their work cut out for them. They need to set a high pace, a high tempo, which is very suitable for a casting duo of OD Pixel and BSJ.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, looking forward to this one. Team Liquid up against Tundra Esports. Brian, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for some high-octane Dota, man. This looks like some fast heroes. I think a lot of this game's going to weigh on the early movements of the 4 positions, especially Taiga here, because he's pretty much most of their early game damage. And I just think that this game's going to be so momentum-based. As Kyle said, whatever carry gets off to a better start is going to have a great game.
And sort of outside of that, is there any sort of pick that you were surprised by, or does everything kind of make sense from both of these drafts? Anything that you're not?
No, I like both these teams' drafts.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love seeing 33 on his summons heroes. He's one of the best micro players in the world, if not the best. Honestly, Beastmaster. I've been annoyed with it all day, all week, all month. I've talked about it numerous times. Hate this hero, but that means it's usually a good hero if I hate playing against it. Mickey on the Morphling, that's a signature. Yeah, man, this is just going to be some good Dota.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, let's see what we have going on, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ourselves into the first game of the best of 3, Team Liquid versus Tundra Esports. And see if we get any action early on, because both of these teams have been known to go for the full 5-on-5 here from the start, and we're seeing it already straight over towards the river. Liquid on the high ground. Biver. Oh, no. He has got the Fisher, though, so he's kind of awkward for them to go on, but Tiger, he's smashed it here. Shards down. Biver is trapped. Tiger looking for the body blocks. Actually not able to block him long enough for the rest of the team to get in. So a good opening, but actually not quite able to really get in on top of Biver. So Biver's out. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, that might make the early game a bit awkward for Liquid. Tiger's definitely going to have to soak some XP for level 2 because, like I said, most of their heroes don't do any damage super early on. Morphling's pretty underwhelming level 1, same with Slardar and Rubik. So that tag team coming out of level 8, that means a little bit of a chill pill, I'm sure, for Liquid here. Maybe not at the rune, though.
Yeah, for sure. No. But Tundra know that there's going to be a fair few of them down here. Probably not head into the river. And, well, we'll see. Yeah, they're already just backing away. 33 doesn't want to have any part of this. Be the 2 for 2 on the runes. It's sort of in terms of lane setup. So when you look at both of the carries, who is going to have the easier time? Like are either of these safe laners going to suffer early?
Ursa pretty much never suffers when he has Keeper of the Light. It allows you to just spam your Urshock for CS. It's not the best lane matchup against Slardar, but ever since they gave Ursa all the status resistance, that matchup's been way better than it used to be, because Ursa used to be countered by consistent stun lock. But like Kyle said, he needs a BKB because he's against the Death Prophet Morph, but he's also against the Slardar, who's going to reduce all of his armor. So he's going to need a lot of items, and he's going to have to get, I would say, almost a near perfect start to feel good this game.
Yeah. And pretty much, is it sort of every game now as an earthly that you get the Battle Fury? Do you ever really skip that item anymore?
The game has to be looking pretty ugly, I think, for you to be skipping a Battle Fury.
Yeah.
And even then, you probably want to consider it. The whole hero's kit just fights so well with very few items, and the only issue he has is regen and the lack of ability to accelerate his farm, and Battle Fury just does everything for the hero. And it's a decent damage item in team fights because you do cleave off of the Fury swipes.
Yeah. And sort of on the other side for Mickey this game is this going to be a match where he's going to be able to get away with rushing the E-Blade, or do you think he's going to be forced to get the Manta on the build-up this game?
I wouldn't be too surprised by like a Manta Lincoln Sphere this game.
Okay.
He can either go for the all-out aggression, or the fact is they have Grimstroke Beastmaster. They just have so much single target threat to him that I feel like it's hard to play around. But if he's allowed to be going in last in fights, he should be able to itemize more aggressively.
See down bottom. Getting some good damage here onto Mickey. But not quite enough to take him down. And how are they're looking for regen down in between the two of them, Mickey? Still plenty of tangos. It's more than fine against this bit of chip harassment from the two of them. Now we're going in the mid lane. 9, 12 for 1 against the 8 for 0. Both are going to struggle here underneath the tower as 9 getting some heavy harass on it. Nolan, or rather close.
That mid lane is pretty much a trade. Both heroes have reliable nukes. They don't really have individual kill threat. It's going to come down to the Earthshaker and Tusk contesting the runes at 4 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely see both heroes make their moves over there in a minute. Bottom lane, still doing a decent job of sort of pushing 33 back away from the wave, making sure that Mickey has uninterrupted farm down here. Whereas up top, as we can see, Foxy getting just about the same out of this lane as Skeeter is. Able to get some good grabs of the creep waves as well. Get it deep behind the tower for the meet up. As mid lane 9, he's going in. He's going to have another nuke in a few seconds. If he lands this, Oh, and he does.
Ooh.
And he does. He's got it. 9 with the first blood. I mean, that very nicely done there. I thought Quaifa might be able to sort of sidestep it, but 9, he was in his head.
Yeah, it's even more crippling because there are 3 creeps running into the tower range, and now the other creep wave gets into tower range, so he misses 6 creeps on top of the death.
Yeah, very nicely done there by 9. Top stuff indeed. And look, he's ready for round 2. Coming out in the courier, he's got the stick, 2 mangoes, and a brand new bottle. So 9's going to be very ready to fight again. We're going to get to see it once more here. Did have the fairy fire, of course, but I think even if he popped that, he may have done anyway.
He did pop it. It just wasn't enough.
And there we have it. Beautifully lined up by 9. See, up top. They are going to be able to get Insania. Can they get Boxy as well? Skeeter's going to run him down. And he's going to hold his ground with the crush, but the swipes are stacking up. And, okay, sprints back up. There's the Earthshock. Oh, it's a little too deep, though. They'll hold back. They won't dive any further. But nonetheless, a kill for the 2 of them on that top lane.
Yeah, pretty much all these lanes scale incredibly well damage-wise when it comes to levels. Everyone just, coddle plus the Shocker Magic plus Earthshock. Beastmaster gets really strong every time he puts another point in the boars. Tag team for Tusk. And no surprise that suddenly kills are happening all over the map. There's a lot of kill duos in this game.
Absolutely. Lots of things to watch out when the movements start to come into play. See how things are going on bottom. Yeah, 33 started to keep himself right up each and every time. Very hard for Tiger and Mickey, it seems, to get aggressive onto these 2. There's just so much sort of stun potential to turn around and just allow 33 to pummel into them. It's mid. So as well, 9, he was able to get himself that DD rune, so definitely falling behind a little bit here on the XP quote for about a full level between the 2 here on mid.
When you get denies, obviously it's half XP, so when he misses 6 creeps like that, it's basically 12 denies.
Fiver. He might just go down here. Snowball in play. Able to close the gap there and catch the 2 of them a little away from the lane, and Biver him bit of a scary position. Mid lane Insania. He's heading over around this sort of 6-minute rune time. Wants to make sure that 9 doesn't get himself another power rune. Fada in position to prepare a lot of stacks for Skeeter in the jungle. But the 6-minute rune will drop. They're going to play for it on the bottom, and it's going to be top. And still, though, they've got fully positioned supports. Fada here as well. Quaifa's trying to head over, and he's not going to be able to make it. And he is very, very dead. I mean, you can't run from that, Brian. Solar Pine and Inkswell.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an Inkswell coddle gank in my days of Dota, but early on, yeah, he does move really fast, and the fissure block secures the fact that the Inkswell stun will go off. It's pretty funny though when you think about it out loud.
Top Boxy. He's trying to stand his ground here against Skeeter. Insania is around. They might actually just turn towards Insania instead. So yeah, they've got to be careful. They've got to respect the bear. Skeeter, he's level 6. He's got the enrage, so he's not too scared at all about these 2 trying to get aggressive onto him.
There's just so many carries in Dota right now that appreciate having to not buy any mana items. As you're seeing Skeeter, he's allowed to go for the Ring of Health. Usually you would have to go for some like Clarities or Wraithband, some stat item that gives you that extra couple Earth Shocks, but in this case, just has the wand to trade with, and he gets to spam his Earth Shock to be aggressive, and it just makes it so you spend so much less gold to enable yourself in the early game so that you can then hit your timings so much sooner.
Stand bottom Tiger, having to protect himself way over the snowball. Well, managed to clean up the 2 boars. That's
the real hero right there. You gank the boars.
And we're seeing as well, Mickey, he's getting a fair few denies in, as he's having a great time. Yeah, 33 still not able to hit the level 6 because of how much Mickey's been able to control that bottom lane. 43 and 19 on the morph here.
Yeah, a lot of times on Morph, you like to push the tower early, but against Beastmaster, your goal is to keep your tower alive. So you just want to stagnate it near your tower like Mickey's doing, just denying as many creeps as he can. Really slows down Beastmaster's timing as it looks like he's queuing up the Necro Book. Obviously, it's going to be coming out around 10 minutes, it looks like.
Not necessarily the fastest, but of course it's still going to be there in a time where that lane becomes a little scarier for someone to remain on their own. And the offensive potential of the Beastmaster. Skeeter cleaning up some of the farm that was prepped for him in the jungle,
Radiant structures.
as he can do with that Ring of Health. And also getting the Fairy's Trinket. That will be a very happy 9 Grimstroke, I would imagine. It's Tiger and Insane.
It's just so nice on these spellcasters, man. It's just so good.
I mean, it's the best tier 1 for that sort of hero. Absolutely.
You always got one hero in the game that wants that item.
Yeah.
At least one.
I mean, yeah. If no one's happy to find it, then something's probably gone wrong with the draft.
Yeah, you probably have 5 carry tickets draft.
I mean, that happens. Bottom lane, good movement here from 9. Perfect time to roam there. As the focus from Liquid is around this mid, they're trying to get in onto Fada. There's going to be TP reactions coming in. Fada will go down. Quaifa, he wants to commit, but the Exorcism takes a huge stroke of fate to the face, though, as Quaifa is got to keep to the edge here. He can't commit with the Siphon. Skeeter's on top of him. Quaifa blocked in by the Fisher from Viva, and he can't get out. Enchant Total, Quaifa is running. Can he escape? There's another slow with the Earthshock. Tiger coming in with a snowball, but Skeeter's able to get in. The final hit takes down Quaifa. Skeeter will fall. But a defense from Tundra comes into play, and that's the first Exorcism down the drain, and the tier 1 kept very healthy.
Is under attack.
These fissures from Biver have been sick so far. Boxy, though, is getting some me time top, something Slardar desperately needs as an offlane hero, and he might even be able to take this tower, something that hero usually does not do at all.
Yeah, it's Boxy. And he's a scary man when he gets a good start. Bottom lane. Mickey and Tiger sees an opportunity to move in and take down 33. They'll get the kill. Of course, as you can see on the network, with all this action and 9 still reigning supreme, he is on track to have what's probably going to be one of the quicker E-Blades that we've seen on the Grim. This is going to be a very good speed for him.
Are fortified.
I think we're going to be seeing much more Tusk as DPC goes on. I think it's really good against all these annoying strength offlaners. You don't normally have the damage to kill them with 1 or 2 heroes, but when you bring Tusk into the equation, these Timber Saws, these Beastmasters, Tide Hunters, they actually melt this early on in the game, and slowing down the momentum of these beefy heroes makes it so it's so much easier to kill them later too. But as looks like Liquid's looking to counter-rotate on this Beastmaster pressure here.
Yeah, they need to protect Mickey. Shards out to Biver. They're going to start things onto the Shaker, but the Inkswell and the Phantom Embrace is out. Dropping the Slam as well to make sure that Tiger can't get anything else out onto Biver, as he'll keep himself alive, take down the Shaker, and now, Mickey's going to have to slowly move away from this bottom half of the map with the 3 of them down here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a little too spooky of a place to be. Skeeter able to continue to just sort of de-push on the mid lane, and there it is. Tower's down. Finally able to take it. It's going to speed up 33's further levels on the Necro book, and we do have... we're going to have a happy Mickey finding pretty much the best tier 1 for a Morphling, Brian.
Oh yeah, that's the dream as well. 7% lifesteal on Morphling specifically is insane just because of the sheer HP to agility ratio you got going.
Dude, and also getting the jelly. I mean, Mickey, he's in a happy place right now.
Dude, when you get Possessed Mask and Royal Jelly...
Is there anything better, Brian?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a better feeling in Dota, at least in the current patch. As a carry, you're just like, Gaben has smiled upon me today.
So yeah, let's see what Mickey's able to do with it. As his game's still in a good position. I mean, him and Skeeter, it's close. I mean, we're 12 minutes in. There's 1K in it. That big difference really being the way things have gone down for the mids. 9 just being able to pop off that little bit more. 3-0-2. And he's not stopping. Invis Rune picked up. He's making his way down bottom. See if 33 is able to move over and connect. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this kill on his own. Maybe if Mickey was super low. But Mickey keeping a decent amount of strength built up. He hasn't gone full Agi. Never go full Agi.
He knows he's in the super dangerous area of the map. He doesn't see Shaker. He doesn't see the Ursa. He doesn't see the Grimstroke. So he just knows that any 2 heroes on the Dire team, if he gets silenced or stunned, can absolutely provide the burst damage required to bring him down. So smart play from him there.
We're going to see the big moves from Liquid now. Boxy, Blink Dagger, 12 minutes. See what they can find. They'll take 9 or Skeeter. They're the big ones. 9 would be the dream target. They know that he's building up towards the Eagle Song for his E-Blade. they can slow that down, it's going to make their game a whole lot easier. 33. No sell for him. He's going to show. He's nice and easy to kill. They know that there's going to be no time for any sort of backup to come into play. And of course, Corrosive and the Walrus Punch, they can break through him very quickly. So they can clean up some of these summons as well. A little too speedy for Boxy to deal with. So
I'd argue Beastmaster's probably their best target, just because not like they want to necessarily kill the Beastmaster.
Sure.
But the way Beastmaster works is you kind of have to go through him to get to his team. So by killing him now, it should mean that they will have a better chance of being able to gank the other cores later.
That's true. And I guess sort of as a hero, Beastmaster, he doesn't want to really be behind, right? Like the sort of the split push threat's going to be much less if the team on the other side has got a few items and can kill him very easily.
Exactly. The turn potential of Beastmaster is also pretty nuts. So if you ever go on somebody else early when Beastmaster's at his peak,
yeah,
and he's like somewhere near them at all, he'll just wrap around you, get a roar on somebody, and all of his summons will just go to work.
See. Back in the mid, how's 9 doing with that item timing? Yeah, it's a few hundred gold, and the E-Blade's going to be done on 9. You can imagine that once that is there, we'll have some smoke movement come into play. Tundra got that combo, Soulbind with the E-Blade, 2-man Raw, and a solid follow-up from Viver. Viver's progress on the Blink Dagger, 1500. He's making it. Viver, as Boxy. He's heading over, fully under wards though. Keeping himself at a distance here, making sure not to blink cancel by all these summons. And very hard for Boxy to get in. They still want this mid tower. Quafer's ready to go for another push here with the ghost out. We'll see how much.
He doesn't have his Jules yet.
Yeah, he's still a little vulnerable if Tundra's able to set up onto him. Fodder starting to lay down the blast. They're keeping their distance here. Maybe want to get the setup onto Insania. Soulbind down, into the stroke of fate. Boxy tries to jump in, but he misses the crush. He's not able to find an initial target. Tries to turn towards 9, but now he's got to run. Raw down onto Insania. The summon's still out as the Necro Book beats through the Rubik. The tower will go down, but now Tiger's in trouble as well. He cannot escape from this. He'll try and shard his way to safety, but can't quite get the angle. So they get the tower, but they lose a couple of heroes for it. And we're seeing those big items get done for Tundra. Battle Fury, complete on Skeeter, and E-Blade, it's done for 9.
Yeah, this is the effect of Coddle, if you just look at Skeeter's inventory. Like, usually on Ursa, you need that Orb of Corrosion, or you need those early stat items I mentioned. You just go straight Battle Fury. You don't need any other items because of that enabling factor from Keeper of the Light to recall you around the map, to give you that mana. And your timing is now he's going to have BKB relatively soon. Like, there's going to be a very small window where Morphling will have the E-Blade before his BKB, and if he gets that BKB prior or doesn't die a single time, I just imagine he's going to run rampant this game. He's got so much enabling tools on his team. Beastmaster for the AoE physical damage, or Earthshaker for the follow-up stun and deterrent of ever committing onto the Ursa because of that Echo Slam threat. Prospects are looking good for Skeeter as he actually queues up the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I feel like I've started to see Ursus go back for this time. Of course, he used to be incredibly popular, and then it sort of fell off with the change to Earthshot. Bottom lane, oh no! Viver's going to get dragged into this. I don't know if he wants to be here. He's just lost his trip in. His father will die. He is able to TP out there, but that got a little hairy for a second then.
Yeah, he got handed a 2-man stun on Boxy. He's like, oh, bonus stun.
It's all good for Viver. He is out of there. But yeah, sort of Blink coming back into favor. I guess, you know, a lot of things have happened, right? You now down the line, you're going to have these upgrades. And for efficiency and moving around the map, Battle Fury and a Blink Dagger, you know, you're not going to be able to sweep through camps with any other sort of item as quickly as you can with these two.
It makes him a good follow-up as well to Shaker.
See if they can burst through. Mickey, they can. Great jump from Viver. And even though he did have a bit of strength built up, it's a lot of burst here between Viver and 9.
Yeah, this game just looks so much simpler to play for the Dire squad.
Oh, they're ready to set up for another. Viver, he's in. Inkswell will catch Quafer. Quafer's going to look to turn it. Boxy jumps in. He gets a beautiful crush onto the 4 of them. He's trying to run them down, though. He's in. Another stun connected onto them all as 9 gets taken out. Quafer's trying to bring him down, but 33 pops the roar, and Skeeter will get the cleanup. Liquid trying their best to run back into them, but with sort of the deficit they have and the item ahead that some of the heroes of Tundra have, they just couldn't quite win that fight with the turnaround, despite getting an excellent crush from Boxy.
Yeah, they kind of just need everyone alive on the side of Team Liquid, even though it looked so good fighting uphill into them. 4-man crush, 4-man silence. They just don't have the follow-up. Morphling is their real AoE damage at this stage in the game with the waveform in and then burst one target into finishing them off with the sustained damage. The thing I wanted to mention about the Blink Daggers is my initial impression, I wasn't sure what to think of them because they're so expensive. But the fact is, a lot of carries love buying Blink. They just don't want a 2,000 gold item in their inventory when they're 6th slot. So suddenly, you can go for that early Blink Dagger and then 5th, 6th item, upgrade it to something that gives you a lot of damage with the Swift Blink. It gives you a lot of AoE control with the Strength Blink. And then some heroes even want the Arcane Blink like Ricky, just to allow them to constantly spam their spells out. So it's a really nice quality of life upgrade that I'm a big fan of. Just because I really do believe Blink was only not bought most of the time because it was a 2,000 gold item that took up a slot.
Absolutely. No, for sure. And especially when you can get away with it in this sort of game, Skeeter knows that that BKB is going to come out so quickly after it, with sort of the lead that they have and the way that he's going to be able to go from camp to camp with his Battle Fury and Blink. And yeah, sort of talking about the upgrades, as you said, you know, Ricky, a hero that's, you know, isn't agi, but the Arcane Blink, that the benefits are so beneficial that you do consider that upgrade. Are there any other sort of carries that you would unironically get the Arcane upgrade rather than the Swift?
I haven't necessarily encountered them. One I considered was Terrorblade just because of Blink meta and the Ags, but Swift Blink, I think,
Swift Blink's just too good, right?
Recently. Yeah, it's so good. It's
so
75 damage, 75 attack speed,
uncapped movement speed,
right?
You know.
Yeah, and then you're uncapped. Yeah, I played Slark yesterday. I was at 700 move speed, ulting through the fight after blinking in. That stuff is nuts, man. A lot of these carries, a game, the best option is to force staff away from them. Like, that's usually what you want to do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's hilarious when they force staff and then you're on top of them.
You're moving faster than the force staff, yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that item having a bit of tinkering with. Because when it first came out, the upgrades, right, Swift Blink was pretty much the worst. Everyone was like, well, this is terrible. And then
they just buffed every aspect of it.
You know, it's the OD effect. You know, suddenly it's like it's an every game.
It really is. Yeah. I wonder when a new patch comes out if I'd rather be like a pretty decent hero or a decent item at the start of the patch, or like the absolute worst hero or item at the start of the patch. I feel like I'd rather be the latter because Ice Frog seems to like overreacting and just buffing the ever-living shit out of these things.
I'm trying to. What is there any sort of unbought item? Wind Waker. I'm ready to see what happens to Wind Waker. You know, who's buying that item? Nobody. Wait for the buffs. It's going to be a global Yules. Wait, and it's going to be amazing. As Liquid, they're moving into the pit. I've got it down to half HP, but I mean, Tundra definitely going to want to fight this. Bivory's got Echo Slam back in 10 seconds.
No exorcism to make it.
Yeah, they're spooked. They know this is very hard for them to try and force underneath the noses of Tundra right now. Still,
I think it's the only objective Liquid can really threaten right now. And since they lack map control and they're against a hero like Beastmaster, that makes it really difficult to solo farm side lanes. The only thing you can really do to limit the efficiency of Tundra is to force them to group up. And so I think that's what Liquid's doing here. This is kind of like what I hear people call a fake Roche, where their intent wasn't necessarily to actually Roche. They just want to make Tundra stop splitting up and getting efficiency on the map.
Yeah.
Now they might do a quote-unquote real Roche with the exorcism up, but with Echo Slam plus Coddle Blast, I don't know.
It's a lot of sort of damage just flying in. I mean, and they know if they go in, there is going to be a fight. They've got to be 100% sure that they're ready to take it.
Trust me, I know.
This is when Keeper the Light's the dream hero, though, for carries, because usually if I'm a carry and the enemy team's threatening Roche, I just have to sit there, making sure that they don't feel comfortable running into the pit. But with that recall mechanic, you can farm wherever the hell you want. You're a budget Spectre at this point.
Yes.
Going sheepstick on Keeper of the Light, pretty abnormal, I would say. But if you consider it with the fact that they have the Grimstroke, seems to go
twice the value.
Radiant's middle tower
Absolutely.
is under attack.
Absolutely. And especially,
Structures are
I don't know what is the standard sort of 15 talent, but if it is indeed the cast range, you know, that with the hex, suddenly you have no idea where you're getting hexed from. You just turn into a pig. You have no idea who's done it and where it came from.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, that blinding light cooldown talent is definitely outdated with the fact that blinding light's no longer one of his standard abilities. You only get
That's
it when
true.
you have your ultimate.
Yeah. So you get the cast range, you get an ether lens, you get yourself a lucky little item. I mean, dude, talking about the tier 5s, you get Seer Stone on Cottle, and you're hexing people at the tier 1 whilst you're in the base. It's amazing. It's true. It's true. Skeeter, he's got his BKB.
I believe you. I think that talent used to be like 300 or 400 cast range.
I think it did used to be more. Yeah.
Absurd.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good job they did turn it down, as Keeper the Light kind of a good hero at the moment. Doesn't really need a lot more strength than he has. And here we go, Boxy. Is he going to make the jump? He's going to get it in. He's able to get onto Skeeter and 33 at the backlines, but they're able to turn straight away. They move in onto Boxy. They'll get the B-Blade out onto Mickey. The Soulbind connecting Quoitfer and Tiger for now. Skeeter committing with the BKB. Turns towards Tiger. Tiger, can he escape this? Mickey providing him safety with the E-Blade. Keeping Tiger safe and alive. Boxy, he's heading back to join the rest of the team. They're trying to get out of it, Tundra. There's Boxy. He'll jump forward. He's been slowed down by the Necro Books. They've still got the Exorcism going. See if they can get anything out of this Boxy. He's got to be a little cautious. He bought back for this. Down to half HP. Biver still with the Echo Slam, good to go. They've got to be aware of this Shaker, ready for a jump in. So it will just be the two of them down and two of them buying back. But now with the Ghost coming to an end, Liquid's threat around the pit has definitely been reduced. He's having to push into some Fisher spam here, of course, from Insania and in the fights as well from Mickey when he opts to morph into Biber.
Radiant are scared.
And we saw some support morphling in that fight. He E-bladed his Tusk to keep him alive. He killed the Phantom off of his E-bladed Slardar. It's hard to enter the fight, though. There's really no one on the side of Liquid that feels comfortable. Boxy can blink in and offer a stun, but that AoE Slithering Crush is pretty low duration stun, all things considered. And here we go again, but
like gonna try
a bit of deja vu here.
Oh yeah, they're making their way over.
Desperate.
Tundra.
Looks like they're desperate this time.
It's a good shot though. It's holding them off to the side, and they're taking it relatively quickly. Fada will now be able to break his way through. Biver, he's been brought in. It's low, but again, Liquid know that they couldn't quite do it quick enough. They've got to wait it out at the side. But again, they have managed to draw the attention of the full 5-mana Tundra to the area.
Yeah, they have Blink on Beastmaster now, so suddenly that roar is much more of a threat. Instead of just the heroes that run in, they may actually be able to catch the backline supports. Insania, he's going to be far back with that Ether Lens, but maybe not far enough.
Liquid know that a wrong move here could be very costly in this sort of game where Tundra are just able to be that more efficient with the farming of their carries. Skeeter now nearly 5k ahead of Mickey's morph. And quite, he's had enough. He's popping the Ghost. He's shown his hand though.
Book for 20. This is actually pretty important.
Let's see if Tundra can get in time. Biber, he's trying to set in there. Jump forward for Skeeter, but Roshan's down. Mickey's able to pick up the Aegis. Skeeter pops the BKB in the enrage, but he's stuck in the pit. He's surrounded by the Fisher. He will be able to turn and take down Tiger. He tries to Earthshock his way out, but he cannot get over the wall. Skeeter's dead. As Liquid, they got the objectives. They did lose Boxy and Tiger, but they got what they came for. They got the Aegis on Mickey. They got the kill, and they managed to bring down Skeeter.
That is by far the best case scenario I think I could have imagined for Liquid there.
It's Tiger trying to clear out mid. And looking pretty dead here. Yeah, Mickey can't do anything to save him. As the bug, the Phantom's Embrace, finishes him off.
Radiant's courier.
Earthshaker's gonna have the Ag Shard too. Even more annoying to play against this hero.
Biber. He's going for the setup. Did start to get the strength being built up though on Mickey. Over to the side 9. Looking to go for Insania with the E-Blade. Mickey losing all his mana hits the Necro Books. 9 continuing to stay on top of Insania with the Phantom's Embrace into the Inkswell. They'll bring down the Rubik. See if they can get Mickey as well. Another slow with the Solar Bind. He's losing his HP fast as he's down the once. Boxy's going to be back up in a second. We'll see if he's able to get over to provide any safety for Mickey's. Mickey, he's instantly out. Great silence from Quake stops any further lockdown coming into play before Mickey can waveform to safety.
Watching Mickey walk away with that boar constantly slowing him, his mana burned by the Necro Book, I'm getting some serious PTSD.
I was going to say you've been there, right?
Yeah, any carry players this patch, we all can sympathize with this. I don't know a worse feeling in the current patch right now. Maybe other than getting like black hold off cooldown, but that's about the two worst things I can imagine right now, because it just renders you completely powerless. You can't move and you can't use spells. At that point, might as well just lose the Aegis and call it a day for the regen. I don't think Fada got the memo, as he is the only guy on Dire with no Blink Dagger.
That is true. Hey, he's got the money. Maybe he'll switch it up and join the rest of the gang. Bottom Skeeter. Cleaning up kill after kill now. I mean, this bear is only getting scarier and scarier. The bash are done. Working on that Abyssal. That's Liquid. I mean, what sort of Liquid's best move to make now? You know, being down 10k. How are they sort of looking at this? How are they approaching it at this point? Are they saying we've got to get Mickey sort of his next item done? Or, you know, how are they sort of thinking about this game right now, would you imagine?
It's about forcing a fight somehow, because when nothing's happening in the game, the fact is they have a Battle Fury Ursa and the kill threat of an Earthshaker Beastmaster on their side and the global map presence of the Keeper of the Light recall. It's just impossible for Liquid to match the efficiency during these downtimes, that somehow, some way, they just have to plan a ward like Taiga's doing and hope Tundra walks into it so that they can take a favorable fight.
Talking about blinks, we've now got the blink on Quake for... As, I mean, in these sort of fights, I guess if he is able to sort of get the blink silence on the backlines, I mean, ideal situation, getting like 9 and Biver is going to give pretty good coverage for Liquid to at least start the fight, getting a kill without having to worry about, you know, the roar or the Fisher coming out and putting a stop in their tracks.
It's a little bit awkward because Death Prophet, Slardar, Tusk are about 90% physical damage, and then they've got this E-Blade, so they're gonna have to be very careful not to botch that usage of spells, and also be like so well positioned in these fights that they get the silence on the crucial targets while also single target bursting the right guy. The execution threshold for Liquid this game is high enough if the game was even, I think, and they're down by 12,000 gold.
Tundra ready to hit them with the smoke. Moving over from mid. See who they're able to catch. Liquid are as 5 though on the high ground of their triangle.
Yeah, I think Tundra, since they got their ward D-ward at top, they're chilling to not force a fight. They just the timer's not on them. The Ursa will continue to scale. He's got an Abyssal to get. He's got an upgraded Blink to get. He's got a 6th item to get. And the fact is, Morphling's just not going to match his pace. On even farm, sure, I'd be scared of Morphling as an Ursa. But it's just the distribution of threats really deters the Morphling from ever going alone. And that efficiency is palpable when you just look at the net worth. It's not like Mickey doesn't know how to farm. He just... The area of effect, the area on the map that he can farm, the real estate that he's got to work with, is basically his triangle right now. While Ursa is just blink earthshocking from camp to camp constantly.
No, absolutely. I mean, as you say, like you look at the way that this game's gone, and you know, for Mickey, I mean, there's not really anything he could have changed in the way he's been farming to close the gap. More than, you know, more than the 6k difference that it is, right? He can't do anything different with his own play.
Yeah, it's just when you die once or twice early to Beastmaster, and he's on such a tightrope with that one, it's just hard to ever get your map control back as a carry player.
Quanta's going to get in with the Yule setup. Down into the silence, but the Soul Bind's down in the Phantom Embrace. You're going to have Tiger going in aggressive underneath the tower. Skeeter's there with a response. Takes Tiger apart immediately. Mickey tries to nuke down 9. 9, he's going to live as 33 is able to roll Mickey in place. And Skeeter is ready to chase the bash. He's there on the first hit as they bring down Mickey. Liquid try to poke, but they lose the whole hand there. Insane is able to make it out. But 3 deaths Koifer also committing the ult, and Tundra, they're even seeing if they can chase down Koifer. Maybe find him. But nah, the blink out will keep Koifer safe. But 3 dead. And Mickey with his best efforts trying to get in there, but as we're seeing, you know, with the farm and the ferocity that Skeeter can punch with, and that DD, one bash just spells disaster.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, as far as I know, the only heroes that can actually farm against the likes of Coddle Beastmaster, just because of the ridiculous kill threat and global presence, is illusion heroes, because they don't have to physically be in the lane. They banned out the PL, and then all you've got left is Naga Siren and Terrorblade, and picking that into the AoE blinding light and caught in the Echo Slam is just, I don't know how you deal with these heroes, man. I see this dire draft, it's scary.
Back in the live action here, Fada will end up dying in the mid. They're able to catch him. Skeeter, he's in on a Boxy though. With the Abyssal Blade done, he can stay committed onto him. Yules, Koifer able to actually save Boxy at the last moment. Skeeter's now got to be a bit careful. Tiger, he's thinking about chasing this. Doesn't quite get the sharp block, but Koifer's in with the Siphon. Soulbind and E-Blade down onto the two of them though. Tundra's ready to turn. BKB's back up on Skeeter. Jump for it from Beaver. He's got the Echo Slam. Down onto Tiger and Koifer. He takes them out. Mickey tries to get him, but 33's prepared with the Roar. Holds him in position. They turn and take him down, and they chase for more. Over to Insania. They kill off the 4.
And that's a Morphling illusion. That thing hits for 150% damage. That's like 400 damage for the Dark Portrait illusion coming out from 9, as that chunked Insania for 1/4 of his health in 1 hit.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And just so far ahead right now. 20k lead, and now starting to take some of the base as well for themselves, Tundra. As Liquid with the 4 of them down. Not much of a defense at all that they can offer, and tier 2's gone on the bottom lane as well. We'll see how much Tundra feel that they can get away with here. As the mid, no question about it. That's 1 set gone. Already down bottom. Fada, he's trying to set up for Boxy. They bring him in, but Boxy out immediately. Knows that backup was going to be inbound. Thanks to Fada. Doesn't stay any longer than he needs to be on that bottom lane.
Yep, the map just collapses so quickly. When they get recalled there, so bottom, suddenly that lane's pushed in. Beastmaster's pushing top. Coddle's running right back to his team and just recalling the Ursa again. So it looks like you'd think there's like this opening where Tundra is separated for a bit. That was like 5 seconds, and suddenly they're back together again with all the lanes pushed in. And Liquid's looking for something together, but obviously from what we see, they're not going to find anything.
Tundra leaving no openings here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Fada, just a few hundred gold off having that Hex complete. As if Liquid weren't having a tough time fighting into Tundra already. Now having to worry about that instant disable that Fada's going to have from a distance. And also, by the looks of it, the pickup of the Aegis and Cheese as Skeeter heads to the pit. Another brief pause here from Mr. 33. But this rush should be theirs for sure.
Yeah, if there's symptoms that you're losing a game of Dota, it's when you look at the enemy 5 position and he's got a sheep.
That's not going to make things easy for Liquid. They've got so many things they have to worry about in these fights. As any big items coming out soon for Liquid whilst they're playing from behind. BKB still a recipe away from Mickey. See, of course, Insania trying to get his Aghanims done. He's about halfway there. Boxy did manage to finish his BKB. Quite for just 2,000 gold into the Shiva's guard. So still quite a bit of time for some of these cores to have their next bit of progression done. And time that they might not get given. And Tundra come running at them inevitably after they grab this Aegis Cheese. And the money that Skeeter will have to also have his S and Y complete. And this bear is going to be completely terrifying. And the XP from Roche also going to pretty much give him his 25. So some big milestones being hit here by the Tundra esports lineup.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more and more S and Y as a 5th, 6th item for carries that didn't previously already have one. The fact that Satanic got removed as an option for status resistance, it makes you, like, ease of execution and effectiveness of items like BKB just so much better late game. Like, you're going to get your enrage off, you're going to get your BKB. The ability to burst you just doesn't exist anymore when you get that 25% status resistance. So it's kind of funny how that item's developed, but I think it might be one of the most broken carry items this patch, and we're seeing it more and more. And now that I'm seeing a 6th item Sanjin Yasha, that kind of tells me a lot.
They're in. Skeeter, he's found the jump straight away. Insane is out of the fight, buys back immediately. Tiger, he's been split from the rest of the team. Fisher down. Follow-ups there from Boxy, though, in counter play as he commits over towards Fada. The soul finds out onto the two of them, and the angle's there for Skeeter to just start swiping through them all as he brings down Boxy. Tiger has to run. Mickey will be able to clean up the back lines as Mickey's able to burst through Biver, but they've lost Boxy, they've lost Quakefa. As Skeeter just picking up kill after kill, triple kill on the bear.
He just man-fought a Death Prophet that was ulting and just killed her. That's not a good sign when you're a Death Prophet and you cannot win the one-on-one.
I've seen very little that Quakefa can do to keep himself alive right now, other than really hope that Mickey is going to be able to have the E-Blade ready to shoot out and protect him from this bear.
Yeah, Ursa's power progression this patch is just so fluid, so smooth. It feels like every single item he buys changes the hero's effectiveness and capabilities in the game drastically. The Battle Fury speeds up your farm, the Blink for gap close, BKB for team fighting, and the ability to like not be bursted, Abyssal to just solo kill really anyone in the game. Just all feels so good.
They might find 33 here in the river. Boxy gets the jump in.
Okay. I think I was hearing Fogged earlier. Step 1 of 10, something like that.
Oh, Skeeter. Oh, he was thinking about going in on it, but he wants to play it safe. Boxy always been buffed up by the X with a snowball save. Tiger comes in. The rage has been popped. Buyback comes into play for 33. They turn with the Hex down on a Boxy. They bring him down. This Dark Portrait ends up killing off Insania there by 9. Mickey tries for the waveform TP, but Biver's in. Fisher and a slam to end Mickey's life and potentially the game here. 4 dead on Liquid. Quakefa, the last man standing, and they know it's over. GG is called. And Tundra Esports with what has, without a doubt, been a very impressive game 1 to this series, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting Keeper of the Light again. I think Liquid came into this series thinking they're the better team. And Tundra Esports, these are good players.
Yeah.
Like, these are all names that we know. And they played that lineup expertly. But I also think that their lineup kind of plays itself once they get the map control, that they
us with the draft, as Kyle and Tigov are still with me as well. And this time they promise to pay attention to the screen and to the actual Dota scenarios being played out here. And yeah, I believe we're ready for the draft game too already. You paying attention? Yeah, you good?
They.
Okay, Kyle.
Thank you very much, Eva.
Kyle, you awake? You good?
I'm with it.
With what?
It.
What is it in this case?
What two teams are playing, Kyle?
Yeah. All right, Kev, let's go to you first. These two teams, obviously, we were expecting Liquid to perform maybe a little bit better, but at the same time, that first game, Tundra seems to be absolutely on point. They played everything perfectly.
They did, yeah. They won the mid pretty convincingly. So that was their last pick. The Ursa went very much even against Boxy's Slardar to start things off. So basically, Liquid didn't really win either of those two lanes convincingly, or at least go even mid. So the off lane went well, or the safe lane for Liquid went well. They did much better than Beastmaster, but Beastmaster accelerated a lot more and ended up catching up. So and with the addition of those 2 kills on Morphling, that was certainly what just started pushing their net worth massively ahead, as Ursa had farmed so long at that point for Battlefield.
Were there any things coming out from the draft that are like fixable? Because obviously there was a lot of good decision making on the side of Tundra, good lanes, good play, just overall. But was there anything that you can pinpoint? Okay, you know what? They drafted this maybe wrong on the side of Team Liquid that you want to see fixed.
I mean, they didn't get the offlane advantage matchup. Yeah, that gave them Roche control, but I think because the DP lost mid lane, it slowed down their tempo by like a minute or two, which had massive implications, because then they can't take Death Prophet somewhere with a small goal advantage, small level advantage, and go get something done. They instead kept passively farming because they were forced into that position by being behind.
All right, that's more like it. My main comment on that opener from Liquid last game was just the double support. We have not seen that succeed. We've seen stuff like Death Prophet in the first 2 that can be flexed, ends up as a support, but straight up Rubik Tusk just seemed ineffective. I like Taiga on the Earth Spirit a lot more. Tusk doesn't provide his own damage, and I think they were punished a bit by that in the previous game, whereas Earth Spirit, he can get a lot of work done all by his lonesome. T-Gov, yes?
I think the important thing, though, about the double support is it feels nicer when you're first pick. Simply in the second phase, you respond core after seeing another hero. Yeah. When you are then second pick, you have to kind of reveal something in the second phase. You have to pick a hero without seeing anything else, and that's where it can be punished, and Tundra did expertly punish that with this kind of Grimstroke mid at the very end, the Beastmaster did all that. Like, they did really well utilizing just the pick order and the fact that all supports had been shown in the first phase.
Ember is still in the pool, yeah? Wouldn't be surprised to see Liquid just pick that up right here.
Why?
I'm also surprised Tundra didn't take it. I think it's one of their answers to Coddle. You also would have to ban it otherwise, even if Void Spirit's already picked. I don't think you want to give Coddle Ember away to anybody.
I just think that we're at the point where we're looking at the teams contesting for top 4, and I think Coddle Ember is good, but it's like discovered, it's understood. You know, you kill the trees, you play. So I like the fact that Tundra didn't just jump on the occasion, and they have gone for a more open pick. Is it the Void Spirit mid? Is it offlane? We don't know.
Nobody knows.
Drafting.
That is the whole point. Better if nobody knows. I must say, like, we talk about how you can practice openings.
Well,
Team Liquid took quite a bit of bonus time to decide on picking Batrider here as a second pick.
Can't believe it made it through. Liquid took that out in one of their initial bans the previous game. They took out Nyx, so you got to expect they might have even been plotting for this the whole time. It's a nice answer to the Coddle as well. Takes a lot of map control.
Turn to ban.
You can punish the one hero playing a part, as we saw Skeeter do for most of the previous.
Who do we want to have playing Bat on the side of Team Liquid?
I'd like to say just mid lane. Again, they can keep it very open to the very end. They are second pick, but I like mid Bat simply for the fact that you can just set the pace of the game. You get these just easy items, and you just play quick.
The bot speak AV is just such a silly timing.
It's stupid.
Like, it's like 17 minutes, and you're like, oh, I guess I'm dead then, and that's that.
And the sad thing is,
map.
like, the new age build as well is you buy this Aether lens, and before you'd laugh at it and go like, why are you buying this? What's the cast range? And then suddenly it's an Octarine now, and it's like, oh wow. So it's actually super high value. So yeah, Bat mid is very, very kind of hard to deal with. You need to really draft for it.
Turn to ban.
See if they do some ban. The Storm kind of good against Batrider in the laning stage.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, because you just shove the lane, and later on in the game you kill Bat, and in general just matches farming speed. You also threaten kills very easily when you hit 6 yourself.
Yeah, Bat just never wants to go on top of the storm because suddenly there's so much damage. You know, one vortex and a TP, and the Bat's actually the one dying in that engagement.
And even if you lasso storm, it's like 120-second cooldown, so it doesn't always feel too good unless your allies are nearby. So there's a lot more opportunities for the kill to go the other way. So they ban out Monkey to protect the Void Spirit matchups wherever he ends up going.
And this is where Liquid, being a specialty Coddle team, they're like, okay, what would we pick in this position? And it's, of course, you know, Bristleback is a staple there. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tundra maybe looked towards, I think, Grimstroke being a pretty strong option. So you pair it with the Earth Spirit, strong lane. Suddenly you have this like Bat Rider threat as well. I think that'd be a very nice pick from Liquid, opening that second phase, just a casual Grim to not really show much. It's like, cool, this is how draft continues.
Well, so far, whenever Tundra picks a Void Spirit, it is always 9 playing it as well. So that would mean that either someone else will have to play Void Spirit, which I'm sure they can, but maybe next to the extent of 9. They have not yet shown any flexibility with it anyway. But however, they have shown flexibility with Grimstroke. We've seen Fada play it before.
In history, 33 has sported the offlane Void Spirit before, but that was obviously under kind of a different team led by Fada, so there might be a kind of a different narrative for the hero now with the new additions of 9.
Should Liquid still worry about the Ember, or is one Spirit enough on a team? Like, should they try to still ban? I know Coddle Ember is not the you know, the thing that you want to see Tundra do, but should they still worry about it and ban it just in case?
Can get a bit carried away with the Spirit, you know. I think one's enough for now, unless there's a glaring reason for it.
I mean,
right now,
it's the only Spirit left, you know. Both team have one. Good stuff. Storm banned. Let's see what Tundra wants to ban out first. Last time they banned out the Juggernaut and the OD around this time as well. This time they banned out the Bloodseeker.
very good hero against the Void Spirit. It's a hero built around movement, so any, obviously, casual Bloodseeker would be able to dismantle that. You can see the way that Tundra were playing that previous game. They were very up in their face, and they actually just go for the Oracle. Okay.
Block pick in some ways. It's one of Insania's favorite and best heroes. I like it. I miss the Liquid that played Oracle more often. Really nice combo with the Earth Spirit too, because you can Q him as he rolls forward, get the double stun.
I think the best combo for Oracle, casual Spirit Breaker. Charges away, you apply the root, and you're like, be gone, my Spirit Breaker. Cross the map with a global root.
Yep.
How often have we seen
We'll see.
Spirit Breaker?
Steve, you don't play in the UK Dota scene.
If you load up the Unranked Enthusiast Guild, rank 15 or so in Europe, by the way, if you want to look at that. We are Spirit Breaker Oracle connoisseurs, and we have sported this many a time.
Purge, what is your unsalted opinion on Spirit Breaker in the current meta?
Be nice.
When Kyle's on your team, I don't know. It's a little bit tough.
Oh,
but,
come on. It's Kyle's your experience.
Never check
no.
You didn't ever go mid. I don't want to hear a goddamn word, Kevin.
So, Purge, what was your opinion, sorry?
Venomancer's jungling.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's all I wanted. Okay. That's what we look for in the UK scene.
Yo,
okay.
they ruined the shard, though. The shard is terrible now.
Yeah,
Tried to use it that game. It felt real bad.
It's subpar, to say the least.
My Spirit Breaker got his shard. He farmed, he got his shard. He's like, oh, this is bad, chat. This won't work anymore.
Fog told me to buy it, okay? And I was like, you know what, you're right. And then I bought
Calling
it.
each other out now. This is great. Who's next?
I'll throw everybody under the bus.
All right. Who was the
Sort of.
support in that game? Who had bad vision so Spirit Breaker couldn't charge? Let's keep going.
Fever.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear. Fight.
All right, let's talk about this draft. We got 6 heroes on the board at the moment. Do we have any preferences on who we like best so far, or are both teams actually quite good at keep things open?
It's just the framework so far. We don't really see the win conditions from either team just yet.
Ooh, okay.
Spicy. I love this hero, but I'm biased. This is Leshrac. It's my favorite hero in Dota 2, has been for a while. Really strong with an Oracle, tower pressure galore, really nice kill potential. We talked a lot about Earth Spirit wanting to be able to kill multiple lanes. You have a Bat, you have a Lesh as your cores. Those are lanes you can gank.
The difference here is the Shaker pick from Tundra. Again, it worked really well in game 1, but that was because the heroes on Liquid, they wanted to kind of, when they get to the tower, they have the confidence to try and move past it, and that's where Shaker excels. In this game, Leshrac, he parks himself in front. He doesn't move, he chills. And then if Oracle, he can allow for that aggression and that save. So I like the idea of just the pressure it comes out. And Earthshaker isn't so good against a Leshrac, for example.
And Earth Spirit and Batrider Diving Tower is not that big of a deal against Fissure since they're so mobile.
Yep, exactly.
Ban.
They realized the problem last game, they had to play too safe. You know, Tusk and Rubik chilling in the back. This time, a little different. The full team can go Divide. Well, actually just Divide. Can go Divide. Divide means go. A little Russian lesson for you guys at home.
Well, what I will say
10 seconds.
is at the moment in the European DPC, and I believe this is upper and lower.
Remaining.
This is the first Leshrac. Pick.
Really?
Yeah,
Fair play.
Radiant.
as far as
thought
I
we've
can find.
Seen one picked. Maybe it was CIS though.
Yeah.
It could be lower, but I don't think.
But either way, interestingly enough, it's the fact that Tundra actually go for the Wraith King into Leshrac. It's kind of a matchup of two ways, where Wraith King later on, he thrives in what Leshrac likes to bring. Leshrac can't blow him up. Even if he does, second life, Wraith King wins. And
Yeah, I
in
think
the
we saw him in CIS actually.
Yeah. And in the early portion of the game, Leshrac just walks over him.
Don't underestimate how good New Bloodstone is with Leshrac, though.
I'm
Lifesteal,
I'm on the
spell
Leshrac bus here,
amplification, you get the heal. Oomph. Indeed. It's just one of my favorite combos with Oracle. Like they have last pick as well. This could easily be a mid-lesh or it could be safe lane. You could give it to Mikke. I think that's unlikely, but we'll see. It's also a really nice matchup against the Void Spirit.
I just think it's kind of different, because when I saw Tundra in the previous game, I'm seeing an off lane that can set the pace of the game. You know, they can make moves and your jungle's protected through your own aggression. I'm not seeing that right now. And with Earth Spirit, Bat Lesh, they thrive on moving forward. And I'm not seeing that repellent from Tundra, so I'm kind of concerned. They need someone to kind of say, this is the pace of our game. If you want to kill me, suddenly Earthshaker plays.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that right now.
Yeah. CIS has 3 Leshrac games, by the way, only 1 victory.
Okay.
Yeah, without BKBs on Tundra, you're not feeling good right now. That's the big concern.
And a couple damage items to it. Yeah, it's but it's fine. They still have this joyous pick. 40 seconds in total for them to decide on the best hero.
On the bright side for Tundra though, like when Leshrac runs at the enemy squad, as long as like Earthshaker is well positioned, like getting on top of anybody is going to be difficult, because he'll just fissure, Void Spirit is going to jump away. Good luck catching him.
Yeah, that's
So they have some outs. They have some anti-running with the Earthshaker that makes Lesh look a little bit iffy right now.
Question is, what is the 33 hero here? I'd love to see them just put the Void Spirit mid, accept the matchup, and then just get more active here in the offlane.
Really?
The man who can stand
That
in
is-
front.
That is low-key really good against the Lesh. You can't stop the damage, removes the lasso.
Instant pick.
Select
Wow.
heroes.
All right. Liquid's got a scary draft. I like the idea of this Abaddon pick. It works really well in standing in front of a Lesh Batrider type lineup. It can eat up a lot of time, but it doesn't stop the Terrorblade farming. This Terrorblade snap pick, it's like they just didn't care what Tundra picked and they auto picked it. So
I mean, Liquid's draft is a little 2019, but it is
good year.
It's really good. This is Bat Terrorblade's always been one of my favorite duo cores. They have the Leshrac. I can't really go against him here.
Can't go against the Leshrac. How about you, Purge? After seeing game 1 especially, how do you feel like this game is going to play out?
The Abaddon is definitely a really solid pick against the first 4 heroes of the enemy team, but I think Kyle said it's not going to pressure the Terrorblade. That means that they're going to need the Void Spirit to have a game where he's able to pressure the map with help from his supports potentially. So he's got to get active and he's got to slow down TB's farm, or they got to team fight really well when TB does get into the fight.
All right. Thank you very much. And Kyle's on the Leshrac hype train. T.
Disco Pony.
I'm skeptical that Tundra can have the same objective presence that they had in game 1. And I think just because of that, Liquid are going to be able to sneak away with the tower, sneak away with that Roshan, and Terrorblade should be able to win in this game. So yeah, I think Liquid are going to be able to bounce back.
Their supports are also going to be so much more useful. Like, I felt terrible that one fight where the heroes ran up the high ground and Rubik and Tusk are just waiting like, we can't do anything here. It's a little different when you have Oracle, yes.
But if I hear you guys correctly, we are expecting a 3rd game, and I don't think anybody is opposed to that. But let's first see if Liquid can make the expectations true here in the 2nd game, or maybe Tundra will close it out 2-0. Let's find out together with Odie Pixel and BSJ.
Thank you very much, GVS. Game 2 ready to go here between Tundra and Team Liquid. Brian, we saw in the drafts, the Keeper of the Light, it got through again. Fada's going to be able to get it for Tundra again in the 2nd game. But overall, the panel is sort of overlooking that and just favoring the draft over that the Liquid have. Why is this? Is there really no need to threat the fact that you've let Tundra have one of their strongest heroes?
So what I'm going to assume going into these drafts is the team that looks like it's easier for them to push waves is going to win the game. So last game, they had Coddle Beastmaster on one side. This game, we've got Lesh Terrorblade on the other. I really like Liquid's ability to take control of the map and make small skirmish plays and then group up around objectives. I think that that's where they thrive, and I think they're much better suited for that this game with their heroes than last.
Sure. We'll stay in the mid. A little bit of an attempt there from Biver, but not quite able to get the fishship lock off as can retreat. And would you sort of agree overall with that sentiment at the end by the panel that this time round Liquid supports just look a lot better?
I wouldn't necessarily say last game that they were bad supports. It's just that against what they were dealing with, the Beastmaster Coddle map presence, there doesn't matter if you have like a ganking duo supports if you can't get out on the map. This game, they have enabling supports, one of them being the follow-up of the Earth Spirit, the other one being the insurance policy and the Oracle, that really allow their heroes to do what they want to do on the map. And I think I just love playing Terrorblade in these type of games. He's basically Minesweeper this game. He like all the lanes that nobody else wants to deal with. He's just going to send illusions down him. He's going to be farming all the safe parts of the map. Leshrack's going to be running at towers. Batrider's going to be running at heroes. And their goal, I think, will just be to kind of avoid this Abaddon. I think that's the best way to deal with this hero right now. We really only see Abaddon, I would say, against Batrider. He's just a target you can't lasso, and you can't lasso anyone else near him. So for all their plays to work on Team Liquid, it's going to be all about prompting responses, forcing reactions, and then taking a fight somewhere else.
Yeah. So you are a fan of the way that Tundra closed it up. That getting this Abaddon for 33 was pretty much the best thing that was there.
Yeah, they banned out the Tide and the Legion. Those two heroes kind of go along with the same thing, where you don't want to lasso the Tide. Legion makes it so you can't lasso anyone else. And Abaddon, it just makes their game plan more straightforward. But man, if I'm playing carry, I would so much rather play against Abaddon than a Beastmaster.
Sure.
So it's not a hero that you're exactly excited to pick. But if you're gonna pick it, this is definitely the situation that I would pick it. So I do like the last pick.
Yeah, and sort of now that there's the Terrorblade in the game, do you sort of have to change the way you're going to play this as the Wraith King? Like, what's sort of the game plan here from Skeeter? How do you carry as a Wraith King against the Terrorblade?
I think it's honestly a matchup where you just have to be 2,000 or 3,000 gold ahead most of the game. So it's no real different than before. It's just that you don't scale all that well. As Mickey gets caught off guard by a Coddle Blast top, takes a huge chunk of damage because Bada, you're supposed to be bottom, I'm sure Mickey is thinking, but yeah, Terrorblade very low HP at the start of the game, only 600, even after buying a bunch of stat items.
Yeah, we'll see how long the three of them do stay up. Biver's actually able to get in with those boots and take out the courier. I mean, is down on this bottom lane, Skeeter, he's going to be all right down here on his own? Is he going to need backup against Boxy?
Batrider until level 3 is honestly pretty useless.
Okay.
Yeah, he could dive him if he had Firefly right here, but Taiga, you see here, did drag Creep Wave all the way to the tier 3, which will effectively deny an entire Creep Wave to Skeeter, but at the same time, he got solo XP for 2 Creep Waves. So if I'm a carry, I think I'm willing to take that trade, especially when the opponent carry is getting pressured in return.
Yeah. And so in terms of the build-up of the Wraith King, is the fact that there's a Terrorblade enough to dissuade you from getting the Radiance, or do you still go for it regardless of the Reflect?
Nah, I think you still got to go for it because, like I said, it's all about accelerating yourself ahead of the Terrorblade.
Sure.
And you're just fighting on a much lower cooldown as the game scales, right? Level 18 ult for Wraith King is only 40 seconds. Metamorphosis is 155. So it's all about just being as effective as possible during the downtime of the Metamorphosis. And Reflection's annoying, but it's just not the same skill it used to be. You can BKB it off, you can Manta it off, you can get it Abaddon and shield it off. So I don't think you should overreact and panic in this matchup.
Yeah, and in terms of sort of how the game's going to go for both our mids, we saw last game, 9, he absolutely popped off on the Grimstroke. When you're looking at the potential for 9's movements this game, can you see him having a pretty easy impact as the Void Spirit, or is he going to have hard heroes to play into?
It's more so he's just going to have to be very fast with his moves, because Leshrac is one of the prime mids for threatening your tower anytime you rotate. So if he's going to move, it's probably going to have to be with an opportunistic rune. And later on in the game, I really like his prospects because that Ag Silence on the Oracle is going to be incredibly potent. It's really good for disabling these backline supports. And because you can kind of buy time with your Dissimulate plus Astral Steps, it's really hard for the heroes to like Batrider to get you locked down. It is going to be a lot on him to cause disruption in fights in order to enable like the bad positioning from Liquid so that they eat the Echo Slams and the Wraith can go to town on the targets he wants to go on. That's what he is. He's just a distraction, I think, on the Void Spirit.
See you on the top, Biver. I get some creep secured here for 33 as so far. It's been struggling a little bit to find the CS in this lane against Insania and Miket. Only there for 9 CS right now. And it's also getting very low here. Has to be careful from a few nukes. As Lee's got the shield once more, but it's going to be taken off. 33 definitely having a bit of an issue dealing with Insania. So yeah, he's got to be careful. He's not quite level 3 Insania, so he hasn't got the step up in damage on the nukes, but still, over it was midnight. He's going to get caught out by Quote for stun. He's able to find it. And Fairy Fire, is it enough? It's not. First blood for Liquid as moves are made by both teams around the mid lane. And not only securing the first blood, but also securing the chance for Quoifer to get that DD rune into his bottle.
Look at this Quoifer skill build. I don't know if I've ever seen Leshrac put 3 points in stun prior to a single point in Edict. You can tell he's all about this lane dominance. I think he realizes he won't be able to push this tower without first threatening the Void Spirit from defending it. So he's electing to probably start skilling up the Diabolic Edict later. He's going to accelerate himself with his ultimate level now. He's level 6 at 440 into the game. This is the dream if you're Lesh. You want to stack both these camps. You're going to farm them all at the same time. He's even got the DD to hit these golems down. Oh, they stack.
Oh, he's probably going to kill him in time, isn't he?
Yeah, but you cost yourself twice as much mana to farm the same amount.
That is true. As Andy, it gets the 1 stack. Won't be able to.
It still feels good to clear 2 camps.
And that quick burst gets its boots out, and it's going to go for the Yules first this game rather than the bots. So I guess just adding to, as you say, that kill threat that he's going to have once he has the Yules setup done as soon as possible.
Yeah, other than Batrider Lasso, they don't really have any reliable kill threat. So getting that early Yules would be nice, as they do end up diving the Wraith King. Surprised that actually worked out, as they both escaped narrowly.
Yeah, narrowly, bit of almost an understatement with how low they were. Only barely. As Mickey, top lane, aggression onto 33. Will manage to stop the 2 of them with the Fisher. But yeah, I'm seeing this already. You know, Tiger responsible for the action in mid, responsible for the action down bottom. Looks like we may have another one of those Tiger Earth Spirit games on our hands.
This hero in the right hands this patch is scary. Spirit, I don't know why. This hero, he's balanced around the best players in the world, and sometimes I think Ice Frog just gives him a little bit too much assistance. All the quality of life buffs to the Remnant count, the Remnant refresh rate, the Ag Shard can be pretty nice in some games. Just an all-around feels good hero, and it's kind of like the 4-position Beastmaster. I just hate playing against it, man. No,
absolutely. I mean, and as you say, you know, in the hands of these pros, I mean, you think of sort of the top teams in the world, they've all got like an amazing Earth Spirit player. You know, there's something about being able to play Earth Spirit at the top that just lends you win after win.
Quakefa's level 8 at 630 into the game, and he's got an Arcane Rune that helped him farm even faster.
Wait, what level? What? Yeah, dude, he's 2 levels ahead of 9. I mean, I guess this efficiency, it can't be matched. Bottom lane, Tiger is in on a Skeeter. There's 5 stacks of napalm on him. Skeeter's down again. Boxy, they're trying to get him, but he's out into the trees. He's going to be fine. Again, just these 2 causing many issues down bottom. And Tiger might not even be done yet. He's looking over towards Fada. Did you want to dive in for this? Fisher will stop him momentarily. Tiger's going in. He sees blood, and he'll be able to get it. He may die for this, but he's set up for the kill. Onto Fada, onto Biver. 9 comes in with a solid response, though.
Rotation.
TP's over and makes sure that he shuts down the aggression from Liquid.
Yeah, if he didn't make that happen right there on 9, this game would have gotten out of control real quick.
Absolutely. And that needed to happen, as we're certainly seeing Osquita having to really deal with this aggression from Liquid. As he's going to head to safer areas of the map now. That bottom lane has become a little bit of a death trap.
Seems like the team with the better draft, like a litmus test to know which team has it, is you look at the carries at 8 minutes and you see which one has 2 heroes in their face and which one's farming alone. Last game, Mickey was the one constantly getting pressured. This game, Mickey's got all the room in the world.
We'll find Tiger here. He's coming over to try and control the wards. They'll get him. 4 of them.
That's base information. Who needs wards when you can just face check the entire enemy team being there?
And so, as you said, you know, the fact that, you know, Mickey, other side of the map, are completely uncontested right now. Is it very easy for Tundra to make an aggressive move to try and get on top of this Terrorblade, or are Liquid going to be able to do a pretty solid job of keeping him protected?
This is exactly what they have to do. They're smoked up with the Void Spirit. He's the only one. He's the catalyst. Tundra here to make stuff happen at this stage. Problem is he's been responding to a lot of movements from Liquid so far.
See if they can burst him. They're in onto Mickey, dragging back into the Fissure. Perfectly done. They needed that.
Really good moves coming out from Tundra. I like what they're doing.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, we saw 9 on point last game on his grid.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, time to start really pressuring the tower, but TPs are coming in.
Okay.
And another one as well, right? Fire Blast to set things up. Skeeter's running this down. He's got Reincarnate, so he's happy to die for the benefit of the slow. A
nice
good kick from Tiger into the silence. Tiger, has he just done it? Has he saved him? He has. 9 tries to predict the positioning, won't find him. Biver does still get the Fissure. They're able to close the gap for the Raid Fire Blast. Extra backup coming in. Boxy, Flame Break knocks back the 2 of them, giving further space to Quaitfer. 9 tries with the Remnant. Won't quite be able to read the moves of Quaitfer, those. Quaitfer getting away there thanks to the saves of Tiger and Boxy.
That is so much space. There's 4 heroes chasing him for so long. At least they didn't have to use Wraith King Ultimate. Maybe it would have been better if they used it. Low.
Well, 9. He's gone for the bounty. Quaitfer's still rather low, but they've got the setup. Into the stun. He's able to break it for now with the Stimulate. Tiger's trying to chase. He's in. Lands it. Grabs the Illusion Rune, or at least preps it here for Quaitfer. They've got the root set up on time. They've got any further lockdown into the silence from Tiger. If he can land the kick, he might just have it. He doesn't need to. Insania finishes the kill with the Purifying Flames, as Quaitfer's also able to deal with Biver over to the side, as Tundra getting a little too cheeky there with the aggression and of trying to get up and take that bounty rune away. Liquid was set up and prepared.
On the panel, Kyle talks a lot about the cost effectiveness of items and how much impact they have on the game. Terrorblade and Lesh, even Batrider, are 3 of the best cores in the game for utilizing small 2,000 and 3,000 gold items to just suddenly change. Like, they just accelerate their game so quickly, as you see the Yules coming out from Poikva. Even just the Yasha from Terrorblade does so much for his farming pace. We're going to see the Boots of Travel on back. Oh, he didn't go Boots of Travel. He's actually going at Yules of his own.
Oh, mid. They're coming in for the defense. 9. Looking to jump in Stadia straight away on the back lines. Takes himself a little bit of the Fate Seed. He's actually able to get out the false promise, but he's going to be taking quite a beating through it. So should fall at the same time down bottom. 33, Fada and Biver, they're chasing down Tiger. 9's able to cross over with the step. He picks up a second kill. 9 continuing to have a very fine time in 5-2 and 2. And now here, 11 minutes in, they're actually able to sort of turn tables and get some pressure on the Liquid's tier 1 tower. See what Liquid can do to hold. Mickey is heading over. And his presence enough to make Tundra think twice about this. They don't want to spend any more time with 5 Virus standing around mid. They're going to get themselves back to farming.
Yes. Yeah, this is where Abad and Wraith King flourish together. It's so hard to fight into these heroes, man. It's just so much health, raw HP that you have to chunk through. And Liquid's got to be a bit careful. The fact that Batrider didn't go for the Boots of Travel means that Tundra will be more likely to be able to group up when they want this game. And it's going to be a lot on the Terrorblade as well as the Lesh to keep these lanes pushed out. And Void Spirit plus the Earthshaker have been doing a great job of actually punishing this greediness, I would say, from Liquid, farming multiple places at once, trying to go for plays with few resources. Like what they're doing.
Yeah, they're managing to to get things out of the map, despite Liquid having the slight edge coming out this laning stage with the way that Koifa was able to pick up that quick boost of farm to begin things off. Koifa himself now just 500 off the boosted travel. That push from 9 up the top will manage to secure them the tier 1. We'll see them try and chase for Koifa, but well, still with that yours, he's a little too fast. And up onto the high ground, a bit of a dangerous area for Tundra to try diving into at the moment, so they'll let him go.
Yeah, that's the problem with their lineup right now. The Earthshaker needs Blink, Void Spirit needs a few more levels, plus the Yule Scepter. As of now, Koifa can kind of just walk away, and I'd say that's the definition of a good Leshrac game, when you can be aggressive like this and utilize your high movement speed as survivability.
Survivor. Or if he heads up. He senses it though. Not going up into the uncharted territory. Tundra, maybe seeing if they can get round into the jungle of Liquid themselves. They might turn and look to combo down Boxy 9. Watching from the side. Won't actually get the remedy. Still a little hesitant with Insania by his side. Knows that there's the potential of a false promise save. So they don't really want to commit whilst they know that Insania's in position.
Where next to seek my blade?
Yeah, Keeper of the Light seems like a nice complement to these Wraith King Abaddon immobile strength cores. It allows the Void Spirit to TB bottom and relieve some pressure there, while knowing that they can still recall him top here as Taiga goes to try to give damage to disable it, but isn't there in time.
Nine. It's going to go for Boxy. Insania holding on to the save. Actually not able to get it off in time as Boxy just collapses. It's the incredible burst of damage there between the three of them. They'll chase Insania as well. Fisher in a play as 2 tasty kills for the Skeleton King. Over towards mid now.
Koifa's here.
Again?
I feel like Coddle
Yep.
makes you rethink everything you know about map awareness as a Dota 2 player. You see the Void Spirit TP bottom,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, survivable top now. But, you know, their mid laner, he can't be here anymore. He's like their catalyst to get anything done. And then he just gets recall, and they kill you.
And that's allowed them to do a very good job of holding onto their tier 1 mid as best as Koifa's tried to push. Their tier 1 still standing in a much better state than that of Liquid's. With the way that they've been able to hold this all-important objective. Boxy. I mean, as you mentioned before, of course, it feels like rather a hard game for Boxy to find a grab. Anytime that 33 is around, it's going to be put to a stop. They are able to get it onto Fodder on the side. Good silence from Tiger as well, stopping any potential save coming out from 33. And allows them to kill off Fodder without any interruption. This should be the space they need to finish the tier 1 mid. And they'll get it. Liquid able to take it away this time. Tundra not able to fight back. 9 waiting out the 16-minute rune. And he's not going to be able to stick around for it. Spawns bottom.
Airblade just farming up a storm that entire time. Dream life of a pushing carry hero when you don't have to be there for pushes.
Yeah. And is this, if you're sort of playing TB yourself, is this where you like to see the Ag sort of just getting it straight away after the Manta nowadays? Spot it all.
If you don't need a BKB.
Why that?
That was really nice.
He's dropping the Echo to protect himself, and may have just been enough to set up for the kill onto Tiger. It is. And they're over towards him. He's trying to hide in the trees. They've got him. Tiger punished there for his aggression.
This is just such standard Liquid Dota. You see a death from Taiga bottom as 2 other lanes are getting farmed by Batrider and Lesh. And I really like that Tundra is making sure they bring enough heroes to punish this splitting up from Liquid.
I mean, and again, as you said, this power that the Coddle has. You know, Skeeter, he's poking at top, and suddenly Fodder's able to bring in 9, and it's a kill.
If you guys watch this game back from Liquid's perspective, these rotations by Tundra are so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually really impressed. These are obviously good players, but I don't know how long they've all been playing together. I know Fada and 33 were on Alliance together, but this is quite clean execution.
I mean, they're definitely making a solid argument for For why, when you play against Tundra, you have to really consider letting Fada get the Kotl, as yeah, they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing right now with any other hero.
Skeeter's almost got that Radiance, got the Relic done. Went for the Armlet for that early to mid-game presence, knowing that they were going to have to kind of fight their way back out on the map. I like that awareness of the state of the game from him.
Got the aggression in on mid as 9 tries to get things started. They're able to bring him down from the Yules, though, into the root. Have they got the lockdown? They don't need it. Just the silence alone stops 9 from escaping, as the bait was successful there from Liquid. As 9 falls for it, jumping into the river and feeling confident that he could get out and save himself. Wasn't to be the case.
Now, Yules is a bittersweet item in terms of survivability against Earth Spirit, because, yeah, you remove his silence, but then you just kind of alley-oop him to hit you with other stuff.
So if they're able to do anything big with this key item timing from Tundra, the Blink Dagger. He's on Biber. Quaifa trying to him bottom. Relatively alone. Only the Terrorblade by his side down here.
It's such a good move.
As they're in upon him. And Quaifa, oh my goodness, when the crits are landed.
If you look at what happened there, he TP'd bottom, and like within 8 seconds of seeing him, there's all of Tundra bottom. Like that to me is just really impressive. I don't know. I know I keep hyping them up, but I feel like this game is way harder for them to play than it is for Liquid. And it's just textbook Liquid, though. They're kind of just feeding across the map and they're still winning. You just know, like, watching their replays, that this is exactly what they like to do. And they just have to be a bit careful. If this continues to go this way, like, suddenly the Radiance is out. Abaddon is one of the scariest 5-man group heroes in the entire game. If they're allowed to finally 5-man and barrel down a lane, Tundra's scary as hell.
A 9. He's looking for the backlines. He's onto Insania, but Insania will get the Fate's Edict off in time, so they can't commit with the combo. Turning their attention over towards Skeeter. Tiger, he's looking to start things off with the initiation. They've got the stun down onto Skeeter. They'll bring him down the once. See if they can do it a second time. 9 trying to jump over towards Tiger to burst him down. Biver in with a follow-up Echo Slam onto the 2 of them. Boxy drags over the side with the Remnant, but it's not enough damage to get the kills. And now Tundra, they've got to run. The Magnetize from Tiger onto all of them, forcing them to escape. As Fada will fall, Biver as well. Tundra not quite having the burst and the focus to bring down any of the targets, as Liquid, they hold strong and they kick Tundra immediately off their half of the map.
Yeah, apparently they're pretty scary as well inside of Liquid. Their sustain and durability is also pretty nuts. The Oracle paying massive dividends there.
Tiger nearly having the distance there to catch 9. 9 will be
he
able
goes back for the BKB on mid-game.
Yeah.
It's nice when you go for the Ags, or at least you consider it, because you can buy the Ogre Club first. And kind of just based on the state of the game, he's realizing that they are going to be stuck fighting Tundra. And it's not necessarily that you want to fight on Terrorblade, but the BKB makes you more than willing to do so. And the Ags was a item that is more about showing up to fights casually, while BKB is more about taking head-on 5-on-5s.
There again, excellent moves from Liquid, and yeah, I mean, Insania, key moments at the beginning there. If he dies at the start, it's a lot harder for Liquid to turn as they did.
This Oracle's job is going to get real hard real quick, though, because we got a Blink Dagger coming out from Wraith King, and we got 1,800 gold off of the Ags for Void Spirit. Those are pretty huge timings for Tundra. They've also got the Blink Dagger on Shaker. He's got the Philosopher's Stone. The Dream for him will help him get closer to a shard as they smoke up, ready to go again. Leave Skeeter behind because he's still farming his Blink Dagger and his ultimate's still on cooldown for a bit. But they can always just recall him. Why not? Seems good.
Fada, he's setting things up. They're in. Insania, he's got False Promise at the ready. This is a hard kill to commit for with the backup of the Oracle. As Quaifa is going to be able to turn, stun into Lasso. They lock down 9, and now they'll run over towards 33. He's got the borrowed time, but with the 4 of them here, they should be able to take him down twice. No problem at all. As he tries to TP, but Quaifa is ready with another stun. There's no escape for him. As just a little bit of a hard one to go for again, trying those aggressive movements that they were getting away with earlier. But Insania in prime position to mean the Tundra were never really going to get that unless they had some way of getting onto the Oracle as well.
Yeah, Kyle was talking about Oracle really enabling Lesh to do his job, and you're seeing it there. Lesh, the only weakness the hero has is in order to flash farm the way he does, he just has to be physically in the middle of the creep wave. Very exposed, vulnerable. And in that case, a lot of times he looks like a juicy target, but with Insania, like you said, behind him, he's perfectly poised to do that as they look like they're going to turn that into a Roach.
Tundra.
This is huge.
Yeah, they can't get over
Both teams
here.
are very all in on one volley of spells. So Aegis will go a long ways this game.
They're trying for Tiger, but Insania's in. False Promise is out. Now Tiger's ready to turn. Rolls straight over to Biver. Biver will pop the Echo Slam, but it's not enough damage to get any of the kills. And they'll lose Biver. They'll lose the first life of Skeeter in the river. 9 tries to commit to burst through the Oracle, but again, Insania able to keep himself protected. And now the chase is there from Tiger, keeping the lockdown onto 9. He's out with the Dissimilate up to the cliff, but they see him and they bring him down as well.
Yeah, this game's really on a tightrope in terms of you lean one way or the other. It's gonna get out of control real fast. I was really liking the prospects for Tundra, but Liquid's really hitting the hitting the gas pedal. I don't know, like this is crazy. Liquid's moves are just so clean. I love the moves from both teams. I feel like I'm just like fanboying over here, but this is just such fast Dota, and both teams are abusing every little power spike that they get. Now that we have the Bloodstone coming out on Lesh quite shortly, it is going to be so hard to bring him down when he's in Oracle ult, because that lifesteal that you get, the spell lifesteal from Bloodstone plus the Bloodstone heal, all that's going to be doubled. And most of these heroes on the side of Tundra, they have to be up in your face to do damage. So Leshrac, if he's getting gone on, will be dishing out the damage in return.
Yeah, they as you said, they really have to jump Insania. They've got to find him in these fights. And, you know, it is going to be easier soon for 9 if he gets that Axe done, but still only halfway there on the gold. So needs a bit more time to finish that off. As he's dead.
He has the same gold that he had when I last checked. That was like 2 or 3 minutes ago. Yeah. He has the exact same amount. He was 1,200 into the 3 components.
This game has definitely slowed down a bit. You can see on the net worth. His top spot still held by both the carries, very close to one another. But as we're seeing, definitely harder for Skeeter to have the impact in these fights compared to Mickey with the backup that each has.
There is no direct synergy with the Terrorblade Aghanim Scepter this game. So Mickey is declaring that he thinks it's just a good item by default. He doesn't have a Mars or a Puck or anything like that that capitalizes with the fear.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Even just the 10-second meta. Be nice, to be honest. It allows you to commit at the start of a fight and be impactful without necessarily utilizing a very long cooldown that allows the opponent to capitalize.
Yeah. I guess one thing as well it can be nice for is it makes it even harder for Skeeter to play his game right. If they're able to bring down Skeeter the once, they can easily prep to kill him after the reincarnation by just forcing the rest of the team away whilst he's in the reincarnation animation. So now to the high ground they go. So what Tundra can do to put a stop to this. They're losing this tower fast. Very, very fast into the Edicts and the Metamorphosis. What kind of deep push do they have right now? Skeeter, he's going to try. He's going to get in on top of Mickey. They're trying to burst in the ones. They'll be able to do it. They do manage to 100-0 him. Take away that Aegis. Echo Slam dropped onto Tiger as they kill him, separated from Insania. So no saves for Tiger this time round. Now they'll see one more they can chase. They're over to the back line. Skeeter, he's looking for Insania. They've got the stun down. They'll bring down another double kill for Skeeter, but Mickey, he's still good to go with the meta up. He's punching into Skeeter. Skeeter at 33. They're trying to stand the ground against Mickey. Skeeter's still alive. The life still keeping him alive here, but Mickey TP's out with the last few seconds there of the BKB. He will escape, but that will give the space for Tundra to clean up even more. Boxy, he's going for a TP out himself. He'll also make it out, but Quakefoot will not. As Tundra, they're able to hold and push back Liquid pretty big time there.
Yeah, if you asked me if I thought they could burst the Terrorblade before he got his BKB off, I wouldn't believe you. That was impressive stuff from Tundra. The confidence to all in him there. It looks like Insania just didn't want to use his false promise. Might have been worth it on the Aegis just because you no longer have Metamorphosis when you come out of it. Not nearly the same hero that he is during his first life.
Huge defense. And just able to do it exactly how they need to. Getting the kills on heroes that, you know, Insania, as we saw, just couldn't quite reach, couldn't quite get to it now. Up top, Biver, he's starting to have a bit of a go onto Boxy. Tiger's there with the backup, though. Silence down onto Biver and 9. Biver's gone. And so is Fada. Skeeter, he's going to commit, though. He's ready to go in with 33 over towards the backlines. Finds Boxy. Skeeter now stepping straight over towards Insania, forcing the Oracle away. Pots the BKB. He looks for Insania, but Insania kicked down to the low ground by Tiger. Tiger gets him out of there. Skeeter will just turn his attention towards Tiger instead. As Tiger will fall, Skeeter now down over towards Insania. The false promise comes to an end, and so does his life. Insania down, and now Mickey. Can they keep him safe? Quite's by his side. So if they want to get in on this, popping the Terror Wave. And 9 caught out by the Yules combo as they take out the Void Spirit. And with that, 33 and Skeeter will back away. But another solid hit there from Tundra. Coming up, turning up to the fight. This time losing an equal amount of casualties, but still impressive to see in a game where they were definitely starting to feel the heat from Liquid.
I want to highlight the atomization from 33. I think Solar Crest with the pseudo nerf to the way it works, making the duration longer, but the cooldown longer as well. It's not an item you see too often nowadays, but this is a game where you got Wraith King, man fighting Terrorblade, and that's going to continuously happen, and that made the difference in that bottom fight. And it basically gives Skeeter an extra item slot, and I think Wraith King's biggest limitation is the fact that he gets 6 slotted so early. Going Mjolnir. Don't see that over the AC too often, but because he's going to have all these aura armor items coming out from the Abaddon, that also enables him to go for more greedier damage items that help him deal with the illusions better.
That's true. It's definitely going to be an important part to dealing with that TB in his army.
Butterfly almost done on Mickey. That's a huge upgrade for him. Maelstrom does give 30% True Strike, so it's not that bad for Skeeter in terms of his damage output, but Butterfly just makes Terrorblade pump it out.
Full lags. Done for 9. Anything else big coming out for either side? 33 working on the Halberd. Biver just trying to get the Eon Disc done. At the end of the day, he doesn't really care if he's gone on and can't do damage. He just wants to make sure he can land these stuns, get the fishes out into these key heroes like Insania, stop him from being able to save his cause.
A lot of big items coming out. Got the BKB almost done on Lesh. You've got the Void Spirit also working on a BKB, but he's way off. So many important items that I feel like the game is going to be so heavily decided by the next engagement because of how impactful this next round of items will be. Whoever gets them first will be at a significant advantage. And it looks like both teams are relatively content for now, but I imagine these smokes on Tiger are going to get used sometime in the near future, probably right when Quakefoot gets that BKB, as it will be before the Void Spirit. Full Mjolnir on Skeeter. They're just
he's big.
go.
Radiant are scanning.
You know, it is all on sort of his shoulders though for Tundra. Very much turning into a full protect one hit. Of course, just instrumental in buffing up this Wraith King, giving him the space to go target to target as he wishes. He Rosh up in just a minute.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Sort of with the Ags on 9 and by having the Echo Slam, Tundra definitely do have a solid fight around the pit.
Fada's going for another Sheepstick this game, even though he doesn't have any Grimstroke synergy. Boxing?
And they got him. As soon as Skeeter's on a target right now, he will take them down easily through the duration of the stun. So much damage coming out from this Wraith King right now.
Yeah, he had time to react for sure. Maybe he just didn't want to use his BKB knowing that he has buyback for the potential fight.
Yeah, I think you could be right about that. Yeah, because he's going to know that Roche is up any second.
Lush BKB is done. Went for a blink dagger on 33. Honestly like that a lot because I think he's needed to follow up Skeeter. Like he needs to enable him in the middle of the fight, draw attention to himself as well.
Yeah.
Kind of just throw himself into the fray. I think the best way to deal with a Batten is to act like he doesn't exist. And trying to make that not happen, it looks like, because these aura items, the Solar Crest, Blink Dagger, just the raw utility of his skills alone makes him hard to kind of leave on the sidelines here.
And for Skeeter, I mean, where does his build sort of go from here? How does he continue to transition into the later stages of this game?
I would imagine Strength Blink or Swift Blink coming out first. Probably Swift Blink, actually.
Yeah.
Use that first volley of damage, the 6 seconds you have of that buff is just so ridiculous on heroes like Wraith King that the only thing they really lack as the game goes on is that they don't quite have enough burst damage to bring down like support heroes in the back. From there, we'll figure that out. It's gonna be a while. Because he's gonna want to probably save buyback too. Oh, he's got spider legs.
Oh,
that's actually so nice.
That's pretty
so
big.
nice for carries.
Yeah.
Just an extra slot.
Yeah, especially with the gold that he's got, because now he can get rid of those phase and get someone else in pretty shortly, as you say, after he's buyback gold on top of it.
It's also really nice for maneuvering in fights, just because there's like a lot of stuff on the ground. Fissure running.
Oh, Skeeter, he's in on Mickey. Mickey needs help, and he needs it now. The Echo Slam's down. Mickey's going to pop the BKB. He's able to turn and get the Thunder off. He's back up to full HP. Turns and rips apart Biver. Skeeter looking for a target. He's trying to stay on top of Quafer, but Quafer's popping the Bloodstone heal and the BKB. They'll bring down Skeeter the once. See if they can do it a second time as they surround him. Bring down Fada. He is able to get the blink off as he reincarnates. It was a buyback from Biver to an attempt to turn this fight around, but 33 is getting focused. He'll try and TP his way out of there, but they've got plenty of heals to put a cancel to it. As 33's back up to full HP, and instantly, as quickly as he heals up, he's back down to 0. There's now 33 down and out and unavailable for the Roche fight.
I don't know if there's a hero more punishing in Dota to go all in on and not manage to finish them off than Terrorblade.
They tried.
And
yeah.
Just get sundered, fight turned. You don't have any more gusto out of Tundra, and Prox Liquid's not going to try to turn that into a Roche, but I guess since Metamorphosis is going to be on cooldown, they're content to take their victory.
3 solid kills there and 2 buybacks coming out of Tundra. Oh, he's done it, Brian. He's done it.
Oh. Well, that is also the other route.
I mean, that
go.
If with a Wraith in that sort of situation like we just saw, that Terrorblade's probably dead. He's definitely dead.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The True Strike, as well as that first initial crit. He's going to have a level 25.
Oh, baby.
They know they have this window to get Roche because Metamorphosis is on cooldown. I like it, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it when it's picked up in a game that there's like only a few K difference in, you know. This isn't any... It's not drastic, but it is necessary. Skeeter is going to turn over towards Tiger. Tiger getting bashed by Roche. Tiger's gone. He's going to buy back Roche, and he's so low. They're trying to focus Skeeter. Skeeter's out to the side with the spider legs. He'll get himself away, and he's ready to jump back in. Straight over towards Quafer. He's found his new target. He's in onto the left. Quafer popping the Bloodstone in the BKB as he attempts to get away. The tear away from Mickey will push back Tundra. He's in, ready to go for another round 9. Fisher out and Mickey. They're having to use the false promise relatively early there. Very worried about him being burst by the jump from Skeeter. So now no false promise. Can Tundra get a jump? Smoke up to try and get the setup from an advantageous position. And Skeeter's in. He's looking for Quafer, but instant yawls. As soon as he's up to the high ground, he's thrown up. He moves down to the low ground with the spy legs, takes out Tiger. Tiger's gone for 80. No way to return to the fight. Skeeter did pop the BKB, though, for that kill. See if he still feels like he can get back in. 33 causing attention towards himself. They move in. They've got the stun. The silence on the Mickey, but he removes it with a BKB. He's starting alive. Still back up. Turns towards 33. Turns over towards Skeeter. Skeeter, he's out to the side. The Aphotic Shield will protect the Reincarnate. He's still got the 2 lives ready to fight with. We'll see if he's able to get back in. He is. Skeeter jumps in, boxed it. Biver, they've got him with the Echo slam. Boxy is down. Viper trying to control Mickey. Mickey is attempting to stand his ground, but this damage from Skeeter's too much. The Ray 5 blast out. They bring him down. Skeeter gets the kill. Knight's got the control on Insania. Insania's down. BKB for Quite Freeze on the retreat, but Skeeter's up. He needs the crits. Bam! He's got it. Another kill for Skeeter. As it really could not have been a more perfect pickup. This Rapier is opening the game wide open in Tundra's favor. If they can continue to make moves like this in the fights, there may only be 1k gold in it, but Liquid is going to feel incredibly shaken up.
I'm almost certain that their chances of winning this game are infinitely higher since he went for this Rapier. Like, this is crazy. Like, what a ballsy pickup, but
yeah.
Like, they knew this was their time. Like, this is what I mean by when I said I was impressed earlier that both teams are hitting these power spikes. This is such good awareness from Skeeter to know that this was the time for him to win the game. This is when he's at his strongest. You're seeing that Solar Crest pay off the huge dividends. I've already mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. Skeeter is just an absolute monster, and he's got an extra 80 attack speed to boot from his Abaddon. He's got the shield to enable him to win these mana fights even more. 220 health swing, 200 health swing, excuse me, both ways, so it's effectively 400 health swing. He even went for the Satanic on Mickey, but after the BKB, Sunder and Satanic are used, he's just got nothing left in the kit.
No, absolutely. Yeah, both of these games, Skeeter has just shown how much he continues to step up his carry performance. This is some top tier stuff from Skeeter. His Ursa, and now this Wraith King, just looking to be as good as they can be. This is brilliant stuff.
Some sick items coming out for them. They got the Timeless Relic.
Oh,
the
boy.
Flicker's a really nice item for the supports against the Earth Spirit.
I mean, how do Liquid deal with this Wraith King now? What's the plan? How on earth do you stop Skeeter from being able to just weave in and out of the fights as effortlessly as he has been?
Well, when he's got 3 lives, I don't have an answer for you. But when he's got 2, I'm still crunching the numbers there. I don't know.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Still room for progress with this build. 5.8k gold. It's going to get very appealing. The idea of upgrading his Blink Dagger. And then you've only got to imagine the potential once he does get what you would imagine the Swift Blink to be the upgrade this game. You're not going to be able to run from this man.
Yeah, and he can always sell the armlet for a 6th item.
Yep.
He's got the Ag Scepter upgrade, which is one of the better late game ones.
Skeeter's in. Whoa, Boxy. Quick reactions there. He's able to blink away. Skeeter taking some heavy hits here from his reflection. As they'll step him out. Can they take him down? The once they try, and they'll be able to do so. That's the Reincarnate gone. Boxy trying to commit with the BKB, but the Will-O-Wisp is down into the Fisher, onto the 4 of them. They'll get the last round, but the battle, the end set from Biver. He gets them all. Biver, beautiful jump straight into the heart of Liquid. Sends them shattering to their base. 3 dead, no buybacks. It couldn't be any better. Biver, and he's done it. I mean, this game looks to be over. It really does. Without any re-entry into the game on Boxy, Tiger, and Mickey. With the damage of Skeeter and his Rapier, they're just looking to close it. Quite fat and Insania. They've got some insane work to do if they want to try and hold this game and turn it around. I don't think they're going to be able to. Insania split off to the side. He'll get the false promise off, but he's dead. He's gone. Quite fat. Taken out as well, inevitably, by the remainders of Tundra. As Quaifa will buy back, but that is it. Tiger's up in a few seconds. Tundra, they're closing it up. 9. Over to the left. They're trying their best to push them away off the objectives, but they cannot do it. The King is too strong. Triple kill for Skeeter. GG is called. What a series, what a game, and what a showing from Tundra. Game 1, they showed insane movements from start to finish. Game 2, they showed that they knew exactly what to do when the pressure was on.
Those movements early, man. They were so close to letting this game slip so far out of control. There wasn't any coming back.